Today's video is all about the difference between ago and before. A lot of people feel confused regarding when to use ago and when before because they both indicate the past. But we all know that they are both different and are used in different scenarios. So let's begin and find out when exactly to use each of them. Let's have a look at the first example, that is, he graduated 3 years ago. You might be wondering, why is ago used here and not before? They could have written before here instead of ago. Let me tell you why. In this sentence, a time period is mentioned, that is 3 years. He graduated 3 years ago. Starting from today, if you go back 3 years in the past, it will be the day he graduated. That's why here it is written ago. Now, have a look at this sentence. I had come here before. In this sentence, no time period is mentioned. That's why here it is before. I had come here before. I might have come here a week ago, a month ago, or a year ago. But since no time period is mentioned here, that's why here it is before and here it is ago. There is an exception. In this sentence, if you want to write before instead of ago, you can. But under one condition. He graduated 3 years before I did. What happens now is, this 3-year duration doesn't start from the present day. It starts from the day when I graduated. And nobody knows when I graduated. I might have graduated a year ago or 5 years ago, but he graduated 3 years before I graduated. Next is, he moved to Mumbai 5 years ago. Also have a look at this sentence. He moved to Mumbai 5 years before he got married. You might be wondering, a duration is mentioned in both the sentences, then why is it written ago here and here it is before? Because in this sentence, just like the previous one, the duration mentioned here starts from the present day. Starting from the present day, if you go back 5 years in the past, it will be the day he moved to Mumbai. But that's not the case in this sentence. Here, he moved to Mumbai 5 years before he got married. And nobody knows when he got married. That's a suspense. But he moved to Mumbai 5 years before the day he got married. And in this sentence, since the duration mentioned here doesn't start from the present day, it is before. And in this sentence, the duration mentioned starts from the present day. And if the duration starts from the present day, we say ago. And if no duration is mentioned, or even if it is mentioned, it doesn't start from the present day, we say before. Somebody asked me, have you visited the city center before? I replied, yes, I visited it a week ago. What he wants to know from me is whether I visited it or not. He's not bothered about any particular time or day. He just wants to know whether I visited the city center before or not. I might have visited the city center right after its inauguration or in the recent past. But since in my reply I used a duration, that is a week, also I had to say ago. Is it clear to you now? Why it is before here and here it is ago? Have you noticed one thing? One thing is common in these three examples. All the durations mentioned here, whether it be 3 years or 5 years or 1 week, they are not going to remain the same forever. 2 years later, this sentence will be, he graduated 5 years ago. 3 years later, this will be, he moved to Mumbai 8 years ago. If I am asked the same question a week later, my reply will be, I visited it 2 weeks ago. But in case of this example, this 5 will always remain constant and is never going to change. Because in case of before, the starting point of the duration is not the present day. I hope it is clear to you now the difference between ago and before and when exactly to use each of them. If this video was helpful to you, like this video and subscribe to this channel. Also press the bell icon so that you don't miss any upcoming updates. Take care and see you again in my next video.